Okay. So if we go to localhost 3000 and I start my server, what we have is we saw that my new method, we have the link for it, but it's not working because we didn't do it. So I can go to what happened to my programs? Did I have, or I must have deleted that. Okay, so I can go to like a new add sub, and then I am trying to render subs new, but I don't have a subs new component. And I've kind of spelled that wrong anyway. So let's go ahead and fill that out. So I'm going to go to my topics controller. Oh, wait, no, that's our, wait, I'm going to actually, sorry, I'm going to skip adding a sub. Let's just skip that because that, remember, subs like our top model. I want to work on like the nested model. So let's go to our topic show and let's get this topic new working. Because this is the nested model. This one we really haven't seen work. So I'm going to this subs 62 topics new page, and now I'm getting the action new cannot be found. So that's good. It's going to the right controller, and it can't find the new method. So, and just I'm also, I think as you're, work, especially with these nested routes, it's really having this localhost 3000 Rails info routes available open to you. So you're kind of like seeing, yeah, we want to do a get sub ID topics new. That takes us to our topics new page. That should return the new form for the topic. So we're on our topics controller. We do not have the new method created. Def new. If I were to refresh my page now I should get like a, yeah, I'm missing a template for my new method. So then I come in here, render components. Let's just call this new topic. I need to create this. I could do it in my left menu, or I could just open up my terminal and, touch app, JavaScript, dot components, and just tab complete. So I'm going to create a new topic.js file. I don't know why they call this like the touch command. That's the weirdest command ever. All right.
Reminds me of that like Michelangelo with Adam and God. Like he's
yeah.
Adam.
Create. That's a good way to remember that. Yeah, you also could have done that, in your app, in your VS Code app, JavaScript components. Good topic. Don't be afraid of the terminal. Did I tell you my Finder is broken? So like I can't like drag and drop stuff. I can't like delete stuff on I can't do anything with my folders on my computer. So like it's forcing me to get like really good with terminal. So if I want to like delete something, I have to delete all my stuff in terminal. So it's fun, not really, but cool. So let's go into our components new topic, and let's just write a React component. How's React coming along? I think tomorrow, so tomorrow is kind of set aside, like Will's going to come in and present in the morning for an hour, and then we can do a review. And if we have extra time, I kind of want to start getting into JavaScript and React. And then next week, we're going full throttle with JavaScript and React. So is it kind of helping, or is it, would you say it's been more just confusing trying to write React right now? Has that been hard, or? Are you
Yeah.
getting pretty hard? Is anyone else getting a little benefit from it?
Definitely benefiting.
You will, because what we did in the past is we learned this thing called ERB. It's kind of equally like a little confusing, but we would use it for like a week or two, and then we went to React, and then you'd never use it again. So this way, at least, I know React's probably a struggle right now, but at least we're going to be using it the rest of the course. So it's not like we're just going to discard it. So get some practice writing JavaScript too. So I'm just creating a function here, const. I'm going to call it new topic. Here's how I can write a function in JavaScript. Give it a name, equals, and then this is an arrow function. And this function just returns data, or just returns some stuff. And what it returns is JSX, which is this HTML looking stuff. So it's very close to HTML, but it allows us to write JavaScript in this HTML. Export default new topic. So I could kind of follow the rule of keeping things simple and testing early. I'm just kind of expecting now to render that component. There we go, new topic. Now that that's working, I can maybe go in and try to do the form. So what does our topic have? Does anyone remember we have is it a title and body? And if I don't remember, where is the place to check for what I called these things?
It's the schema.
Yeah. If I ever forget, or I want to like double check on the spelling, this is kind of like your schema is like your source of truth. So I have a name. It's a name, not title. So name and body. So good thing I checked that. So name and body. Cool. Check this. That's getting close. That I need a body. I need another button. Type equals submit. This is more just kind of like HTML stuff right here. Add. So in HTML, if I have a button of type submit within my form, it's going to, how I can like say where to go is I can give that an action. What is the path I want here? So when they create, so this is when they hit the add button, it's going to go to this URL. So what's the URL I want to go here? So you can answer this in a couple ways. You can be like, what's the controller and what's the method I want to go to? Or what's the URL?
Well, it needs to go to subs, then the sub ID, then topics, then new.
Okay, so that's the right one when we
sorry.
return the form. You're right.
Yeah,
That's how we
just
return the form. So this is when we hit the add button. So we type out the data and then we click add.
yeah. So without the new, just the topics.
Okay, yeah. So you said subs and then the ID of the sub. We don't have that right now, so I'm gonna just hard code that. Then topics, right? Because this is going to take us to our topics create method. See, if you knew, or if you knew that it's supposed to go to our create method, then you can look at your routes. Or if you're just completely kind of having a blank of what to do, go to this file and like think about, what you're trying to do. I'm trying to create a topic. Boom, there's the, I want to go to the topics create. I need to do a post request to subs sub ID topics. So I do need to make this a post request. I believe that's the method and not data method. So post. And yeah, but now I know, like, okay, I do need the sub ID. Like I need the actual ID of the sub. So I'm going to get that from my controller. Props. Let's pass it a sub. Sub yo. I'm going to name this weird just as a review of like props and what we're doing here. At sub. So remember this at sub, I have a before action. So before action set sub. So before every action, we're going to go through our params, look for this and grab the sub ID and then find that sub. And then that's an instance variable. So now this at sub is this is visible throughout our app. And then I'm now going to pass this props sub yo at sub. Let's just also do some other, like X is 1, T is, this is T. So I can pass down multiple props. This is just like a hash, right? That's a Ruby hash. And then in JavaScript, JavaScript's going to is going to get this via props. And really now props is just going to be this hash. But in JavaScript, it's now called an object. So that's what props looks like, right? Props, in this case, props is going to equal that. So then if I want to get the sub ID, I can do props dot, what is this going to be called?
Sub yo.
Yeah, sub yo, because that's the name of the key. The value is going to be that instance variable. But this at sub is really an object that has like ID, and name. So I do props dot sub yo, and then I need to drill and grab the ID. Now, something I was doing yesterday is I did this like syntax sub yo, and then X and T, and grab those from props. This is a JavaScript thing where it's called destructuring. I can grab the values just kind of like this. It's kind of like a nice little shorthand. And then I can not have to call props.subyo.id. Just can clean up your code. You can actually throw this right up here and just destructure right there. So you might see that in JavaScript code. So what they're doing is they're just destructuring those keys from that object and kind of creating variables out of them. And then your code becomes like really, this just can clean it up. So you might see it that way. But just to avoid confusion, I'll leave it like this one. So let's do this props, or sorry, subyo, X and T. So I can pass multiple things down. So just wanted to show, let's just show like T, X, So props is just the way I can pass like a lot of data down to my component. So there's my, this is T, that was my T prop, and then there's 1. That was the Y. Let's come in here, let's type in a name and body, hit add. Okay, we get this error, the invalid authenticity token. So remember, this is just something we need to go to our application controller and see if I can remember it. It's protect from forgery. In fact, I need to look it up. But it's the like the protect from forgery with null session. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, it's right here. I'll Slack that out. Oops, sorry, Raphael, I just saw your Slack. So during break, I want you to like, before we go to break, I do push all this code up to GitHub normally. So all of this code, like if I don't see like your message, or if you like ask me to Slack some code, you could go to the GitHub repo and like look for the code there. And then that's also going to get you like kind of force you to like learn the folder structure. But all the code should be up on GitHub. And if it's not, like remind me to push it up to GitHub. But once again, I'm also always happy to Slack out code. So sorry, Raphael, I just saw that message.
Could you go back to your new topic for just 1 second? JavaScript.
Yep. Where is it? New topic. Cool.
All good.
Sweet. So what was our error? Oh yeah, we had the invalid authenticity token. So let's go back, refresh. Hit add. Boom. So here now we're getting, we're actually hitting our sanitizer. And actually what this is showing, this is what's called the stack trace. This can actually show you like the functions that have been called to get here. For example, like we started at the create method, and now we were in the create method, and then that create method called the topics param method. Boom. And then this is where the error occurred. So sometimes you can like navigate through what's called a stack trace, and you can kind of see like, because in code, you can have a function that calls a function that calls a function that calls a function before that first function ever gets done. So it's kind of like stacking plates, like the function calls another function and it stacks them on top. So that can be a way you can kind of trace through what happened. So for this one did go to our create method, and then we have this at sub.topics.new, then we called the topic params, and then bam, we're failing here. So the value is empty topic. So let's just go ahead and we can like take this code and run it in here. Param is missing. So do I have params? That's there. But yeah, do I have params colon topic? That's nil. So that's what's failing. Like it's not, I'm saying, hey, require this topic param, it's not there. So I filled out my form and I'm sending the data, but I'm not actually, I filled out the data, but I'm not actually sending it. So to do that, I need to give these a name. And then I do the name of the model. See, this is like what it's going to come as params. This is going to send it as params topic. So this is what I'm saying, require topic. I'm kind of saying, hey, require this topic to be there. and then permits. Then I'm going to do the name of the attribute, which happens to be named in this case. I can do the same thing for my body. Give it the name and topic, and then this one, the attribute name is body. So this is how I'm going to send these from my form to my server. So let's go back. New body SDF. So that didn't cause an error. Something I could do to see if that worked is I can go look at my server. See, started post. So here's my server is telling me what's going on. Started post, 2 subs. There's my parameters, topic. I have the name, new, the body SDF. There's the sub ID. And I think, I can't remember if, I don't think it did create it. Let's go back to our topics controller. Yeah. I didn't see any SQL. I just, to create, I see a SQL to like select. But yeah, this is all we got here so far. So we just create a new sub in memory. Oh, wait, I don't need to save that, sorry. This is going to be our topic. Topic equals, and we can make this an instance variable because we're creating a topic. So I'm going to say at topic equals this, create it in memory. And then if at topic dot save, let's do an else end. And we're not going to do this yet. So probably not this week. Handle bad input. So if we save a topic, so where should we go after that? This is kind of up to you as a developer. There's not necessarily like a right answer, but what do you think would make sense?
Back to the topics page.
Yeah,
You can see it.
Yeah, I would say let's go back to that topics index. So for that, I can, once again, look at my routes. I want to go to the topics index. That one right there, it's just at the top. So this is going to be the subs topics path helper. But notice something here, like we do need the ID of the sub to go to. So when I do this, I do a redirect to, spell that right, subs topics path, but I actually need to like pass this the sub. You can pass it the sub or the sub ID, because then it's going to know, hey, go to the subs topic path, but then give me the sub to go to. All right, let's go ahead, new, add. There we go. That takes us back to the Bob Ross. Let's make sure, like, because I was on Bob Ross. So when I'm, once again, when I'm filling out data, just take a little time to just like throw in something somewhat realistic that matches what you're doing. Bob Ross body. Yeah. So now I'm on the topics page for Bob Ross sub, and there's all of that. So there's the create method. Questions on that?
The only quick question is, I was able to do the redirect to and the subtopics path without passing it a sub.id, and it's worked, as far as I can tell, well every time.
Okay, then that might be some,
Some Rails magic.
yeah, because what it's probably doing is it's probably looking at your URL and just assuming that's where you want to go to. Yeah, so let's show topic, or wait, it was new. Yeah, I think that's it's like Rails is doing Rails does a lot of that for you. Like, oh, you want, because that makes sense though. Like I want to go to the subs topic path. Well, how do I know which one to go to? What if I want to go to like, not that one? Like I want to go to another one. Like I want to go to the one with ID 1. I mean, this is going to break because I don't have a sub with ID 1, but just in case if I did, that's how I tell it to go to a specific sub. So yeah, I actually didn't know that would work if you didn't throw that in there. Cool. So let's do the edit method next. So let's just do like a quick, like a review of how we're going to do this. So remember, for edit, there's kind of like with create, there's 2 things we need to do. We first need to get the form, but with edit, when we get the form, we need to get the thing to edit and then send that with the form. So when we edit a topic, we need to go to the subs path, and then we need to give it the sub ID. Then we say topics, then we give it the ID of the topic, and then edit. And that takes us to our topics edit page. So I don't know if we had our link set up. Let's go back. So if I go to my show topic, oh yeah, we don't have a link for that. So let's set up a link first. So I've also done like quite a bit of work. I did not mean to close my terminal. I wanted to do a commit. So yeah, this would be a good time to do a commit probably, because we've done some work. So look at my application controller. Yep, that looks good. Topics controller. Yep, that looks good. New topic. You know, maybe I really don't want that XMT there. I don't really need that. But go ahead, click that. That's good. So then I can do a commit like create sub working, or sorry, create topic. And see, all of the changes here are kind of associated with getting that create topic working. So I'm going to have a nice clean commit with an organized chunk of code. It's working. And now we can go on to our next task of the update. Cool. So yeah, what we want to do now is create a link for edit topic. So let's go to our topics.js page and add that link. Topics. Just go ahead and Command C, Command V this one, because it's going to be close. So we go to /subs, and then we interpolate the sub ID, topics, then interpolate the topic ID. Then we just need to hit /edit. Cool. So there's that. You know, small changes. and test early. So I can go ahead and restart my server. Okay. And this is, yeah, this can kind of be like an example of what's called test-driven development. So it's kind of a way, but test-driven development is like you write your test before you write your code, and then you go through the errors to write your code. It's kind of developing this way is like a little like test-driven development. I mean, we didn't write these tests. This is just like Rails doing it for us. But I'm doing one small change. I'm going to the next, I'm getting to like the next error, and then I fix that. But this is a really good way to learn Rails, because then it's like, oh yeah, the action edit cannot be found in the topics controller. I did not mean any of those. I didn't mean edit. So I need to go to my topics controller, def edit. And then, I could refresh again. Now I'm missing the template. So I'm kind of seeing that MVC flow. So let's go ahead and render our component, render components. Let's call this edit topic. For now, I know I'm going to need the sub. So let's pass the sub as props. And I know I'm going to need the topic. The topic, the sub's going to have like the ID of the sub. I really probably don't need the sub, but let's just pass it anyway. And then the topic, that's going to have all this information about the topic. Is this at topic going to be defined?
No.
No, it's not, because I do have this before action set topic, which does the appropriate thing. It goes through my subtopics.find, but this is, I'm in my, where am I? I'm in my edit method, but right now I'm only calling set topic on the show method. So I need to change that to edit. Edit. Cool. So now it should be defined. I don't have this edit topic component created, so let's go ahead, create that. Go to app JavaScript components, edit topic.js. I'm just going to take what I have in the new topic.js folder, because this is going to be very similar. And this actually kind of illustrates another another potential issue, or just kind of like a coding style type thing. So now I have this subyo from props. Well, I didn't call it subyo in my controller. I called it sub. This is why it's bad to name things differently. It's kind of why you want to choose a name for something and then stick with it. Like calling this subyo is probably could potentially lead to issues. It's just going to lead to confusion. So, if I have because I can technically call these whatever I want, these keys, but I want to be consistent. So I really should change that to just sub and take the time to go fix that, and then switch that to sub and that to sub. So I don't have some like misspellings of things. It's kind of the same thing, like if you have like a list of users, you can maybe call them the variable users or people or contacts. It's like pick one of the names and stick with it. That kind of thing. So now I'm in my edit. I also need to change this name to edit topic, just for clarity. So, and then I should probably just make sure I'm on the right one. Say, and just for the user, that's edit. Maybe switch this to update. Let's just refresh this. Cool. So there's my form. It at least says edit topic and update. Need to come in and, I want the values there. So I can do the default value. And so now I'm going to grab, this one is going to grab a topic. That's something my new is not going to get a topic because it's not created. This one is. So then I can do this as topic dot name, and the default value for my body, just topic dot body. I can test that out. Hopefully those fields will be there. So there's my form is pre-populated. Cool. Now I need to switch the action, because when I hit update, this should go to my update method in my topics controller. So looking at like this routes, my topics update, either need to do a put or a patch to sub ID topics and then the ID of the topic. So I need to add the ID of the topic here to match that path. And then also to give it the ID. And then I need to do that hidden input. I'm just going to slack this out. And so this is going to switch this from a post to a patch. I can get rid of that comment. If that will. This is just an HTML thing that we need to do. So I can refresh. Let's do new update. Okay, so that can't be found. Let's see if params is actually defined in here. Cool. So we have parameters, we have params, colon topic. Cool, that's there. So watch, I can do like a params dot require. You can kind of see what this method does, dot require topic. That's grabbing that, and then dot permit. What happens if I just permit name? It just returns, it just filters out anything that's not name, but I don't want that. I also want body. See, that's what our sanitizer is doing. It's just making sure that that topic is in the param, and then within that topic, we have name. We're going to allow name and body. But yeah, so now I have this error. The action update cannot be found. So let's go to my topics controller and go define that. And let's just do this. So let's do def updates. And so I want to grab my topic, right, to update. So let's go ahead. The easy way to do that, since we have this set up, is just set our topic in the update method. So now we can do this. We can just say, or we can just do this right here. If at topic dot update, and then pass it the topic params.
Your method is called updated.
Ooh, updated, thank you. Update. Then we can go ahead and redirect to the subs path. Else we'll do that later. Cool. So we can try that now. So by having these before actions, we're cleaning up our methods, keeping them dry, do not repeat ourselves. Let's go back to the form, refill this out, update. There's new. And now our edit topic is complete. So if I have that done, I've got something done, I've tested it. This would be a good time to come to GitHub or Git, do a git add dot git commit dash m update topic. I should have gone through. I do think it's a good habit to go through in VS Code and inspect each file you're adding. I should have done that. Once you start working with big files and big projects, you'll probably want to do that all the time, just to make sure the changes, you're changing exactly what you want to change. But cool. And then, do I need to push this up to GitHub? The answer, like, not really, unless someone needs, I don't really need to do it. Unless a team member needs it. Or like I'm done for the day and I just want to make sure I don't, like, my computer doesn't blow up or like I lose my computer. So I don't have to, it's not like I don't necessarily have to push every time I commit, but you can. It's not like going to hurt anything. Cool. Any questions on that? Let's do delete really quick and then we'll take a break. And then that will and then when we come back, I think we'll have some time just to, like, go over this, ask some questions. And then actually we'll start doing a comments model as well. Because that's like part of the bonus for your homework. So I'll get you kind of set up with that. We can kind of go through these steps again. All right, so we need to do a delete. So let's go ahead. We want to add a delete button here. So once again, just come in here. I need to do a delete request to subs, sub ID, topic ID. So I can go to my subs, oh my gosh, topics. Go ahead and just copy and paste one of these because the URL is going to be pretty similar. I just need to get rid of the edit and delete topic. Now notice these two paths match, they're the exact same. So where they're going to differ is the method. So I got to give this one the specific delete method. And then let's just go straight to our controller. Let's go to our topics controller. Go to the delete method. And so we need our topic here, right? At topic. But that's not defined because we don't call that here. So let's call that. So before action, let's define our topic. Did I call this delete? It's destroy, sorry. Destroy. So then we can just do @topic dot destroy. And then we can go ahead and redirect to subtopics path. That'll take us, that'll destroy it and then do a redirect, which will actually, recall this index method, redo that whole thing. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me inspect my element. Okay. There's also a network tab here. You can see the requests going on here, can sometimes be interesting. So refresh, I need to refresh my page. Delete topic. That worked, right? Yeah, that worked. So I can kind of see my request that I'm doing. I wonder if I can find that 300. So here's all the, here's a whole bunch of requests going on behind the scenes. Let's see if we can find one that we use, like topics. Let me clear this, actually clear. Where's the clear? So I'm going to delete a topic. I cleared that thing. Oh my gosh, that's so much going on. I was just hoping to see like the 300, the redirect. Looks like there's a couple of them though. Anyway, this will become more useful when we completely decouple React from Rails. This can be a useful way to kind of like see your requests and see the data that's coming back. But just kind of introducing you to some of your tools like the elements, inspecting an element, coming in here and being able to change this might be a way to kind of like figure out some styles, kind of inspect. So these tools can help you out. Cool. Let me add this and then we can take a break. Any questions though on this?
Yeah, I have a Boolean for one of my attributes. Is that gonna mess me up because I have to do something specific for it? Because it doesn't seem to be working when I try to get the params.
Yeah, when we do the comment model, let's throw a Boolean on it. So when we come back from break, I'll do a demo with a Boolean on it.
Awesome, thank you.
On your topics JavaScript, did you already change the stuff to destroy topic?
The data method?
Or did you want to put destroy there
No, that one's delete.
or? Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is why I always like the HTTP method is delete, but in Ruby, the standard method is called destroy. That's just what they call it. And here I could call this destroy or delete. It's just like Jesus, pick a word. But yeah. Anyway, let me commit this. So I went through my changes. They all look good. I staged them. And now I can commit them. Delete working. And yeah, now I'll push this up to GitHub. But does anyone need any code or does anyone have any questions? If not, you can take a break. Come back at, let's call it 11:35.
There's a little bit of code I didn't stay up on, but I can just look on GitHub.
Now let me push this up. That should all be there now.
We're coming back at when?
11:35.
Gotcha.
I'm kind of stuck on a bug if you have a second.
Yeah, go for it. You want to share your screen or?
So I'm having trouble with this set item function. I keep having issues with it. I don't know if I don't have it set up correctly, but this is the error that I'm getting when I try to
Okay.
go to my edit path.
So yeah, what it's saying, it's cannot find ID with, and then you're passing it this like weird like SQL stuff. So let's come into the bottom of this debugger where you have this 2 chevrons, because you can start typing stuff in here. So let's see what it looks like in here. So do like params. Okay, yeah, so you're trying to department items. So yeah, you see how your ID in your params is edit.
Yeah.
So there's your issue, because you're sending params, and look at your URL. So you're going to localhost 3000 departments 14 items edit.
Or I meant to, sorry. I'm getting the same error on new.
Okay, on new.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you're creating a new item, should you like, should it be in your database?
No.
Yeah.
And so I shouldn't be passing this set item to new because it's only passing it to show.
Oh, only on show.
But for some reason, when I go to the new route, it's still passing it as if it's an ID, and it's still running that function.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I see what's going on. This one's a little got you. So what's happening here, because these routes go in order. So you go to departments ID, you have that new one. So that actually matches your show method. And so then new becomes the ID. So yeah, that needs to go ahead of it.
Oh, okay.
That one can be a little tricky.
Oh, okay. Sweet. Yeah, I was banging my head against the computer on that one.
Yeah,
Wait, so-
that one's hard. That's a tough one.
Cool. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get started. So with this, what we're going to do, and we can still leave this open for questions, but I do want to get into another model. So we have subs and we have topics, and now we're going to have a topic have many comments. So it's like nested more so. But is there anything, so we can kind of go through this process again and kind of see the repetition. So maybe that will help, just kind of going through the CRUD actions again. Maybe I'll go through them quicker just so we can get through them all. So you can maybe just watch if you want, try to code along, or is there anything in particular that you kind of want to review? Or should we just kind of just go through and do like the CRUD actions on them? Cool. Let's do that. And then like tomorrow we will have, we'll have some time for like a review and maybe go into React a little more in depth in JavaScript. So let's go ahead and do this. And then, yeah, I'll need to remind myself to do a Boolean on this. Okay, so just want to see something. Okay, let's come in. I'm going to go a little off the notes. Wait, I don't, okay, yeah. So I'm going to come into my app and we're going to create a comment model that belongs to our topic. So Rails G model comment that can have a body.
You're not sharing your screen.
Oh, thank you. I thank you. There you go. So let's go ahead and create our model. Call it comment body. Give it a body. Let's just, you know, we can make that text, sure. And I'm going to have this like, I don't know, what's a Boolean we can add on that's like, I don't know, it doesn't really matter what we like. Whatever.
So adding body with text, is that just already putting it in to the model so you don't have to put it in later, I guess?
Well, if I don't put the text there, then I'm going to have a model called comment and then an attribute on there called body. And if I don't have the text, this body is going to be a string data type, but I want this to be, maybe the comment's a little longer, so I want it to be text. And likewise, I want a topic that it belongs to. So this is really going to be translated in the database to the topic ID as a foreign key. And then we also want to do a Boolean example. So I'm trying to think what kind of Boolean would go with a comment.
Appropriate, true or false.
Yeah, appropriate. Let's just call it like flagged. Yeah, and so we'll have this flagged Boolean on here. So if this is true, that means it's like a bad comment. Then I can go ahead, I create that model. Whenever I create a model, I want to migrate. Also think it's good whenever you migrate, especially when you're starting out coding or just, I mean, just in general, like, let's go check out the schema just to make sure that kind of is what we're expecting. So yes, I have a body attribute, which is of type text. I have the topic ID, which is going to be, you know, my big int. That's my foreign key. That's good. It can't be null. And then I have this Boolean flagged. So that's working. I could also come into my comments. So now I come into this comment model. So check this, that belongs to a topic. That's good. So then I could go to my topic model, set up the association here. So topic belongs to a sub, but then it has many comments. And then, yeah, this one, if it makes sense, if I delete a sub or if I delete a topic, I can go ahead and delete all the comments. So we'll do our dependent destroy there. Could also go to my seeds file. Maybe since I'm getting pretty nested, maybe I don't need to do comments for all of these, but maybe I do want to do for like one. So let's just take let's store this to a variable like JavaScript or JS equals topics dot create. So now I have a JS variable. So now I can do like JS dot comments dot create body. And maybe we have another comment that is like JS is horrible or like, swear words. And then this one is going to be flagged. So there we can use a Boolean. So I'm only going to have comments on this JS topic. So I just kind of need to keep that in mind when I'm debugging. I can go ahead, try running my seeds file, rels db seed. So I could almost just test this right here before I do anything with my UI. Try to grab my first topic. So let's do s equals, or my sub, let's do sub dot first. See if that's JavaScript.
So when you run your DB seed, it doesn't recreate all of it doesn't recreate the things that you already had in there every time you run it. It will only it'll only create the new information.
Yeah, but it will save everything. It's not going to destroy anything in your database. It just reruns it.
Okay. So would I have duplicates of programming and Bob Ross and music, or no? In my database, I mean.
Yes, you would if you don't do this destroy all at the top.
Oh, okay. That's right. That's right. Thank you.
Yeah, that's why I do this destroy all. So it's I do clear out the database.
Okay. So if we didn't have those every time we ran it, we would create duplicates of everything we were running.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, so in mine, I actually have Faker doing the one that has a Boolean, but instead of, I don't know if I should share my screen, but let's see if I can explain this. So I've got 4 times due, and then the department and all the Faker stuff. And then within that, I have 5 times due, my items, and I've got a name, and that has a Faker. But then on the sale, I just put false, hoping that it would just do false for all of them because I didn't know what else to do there. Is that gonna work? Have I set that up correctly?
I don't know. This just needs to be, Booleans are weird, or can be weird, because you can have truthy and falsy values, but yeah, there's a lot of ways. If you don't really care if it's true or false, you just want something random. I'm sure you can use Faker. So you're using something from Faker that returns true or false, right?
No, I just ended up for that one, I just put sale false. Figuring that it would just generate all of them false.
Yeah, that would, if you hard coded false.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
true. Or if I wanted, yeah, if I wanted this to be random, then I could do like rand. I don't know.
Sorry, I'm just trying to remember. Is this being recorded again after break?
Yeah, this is being recorded. I could do like rand dot even. Pick a number between 1 and 2. Is it even? This is going to return true or false.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So that's, I mean, let me make sure this works. Wait, rand 2. Yeah, it seems like that's false, false, true. Seems like, what does this, I forget if this gives me 0. I think it should give me between 0 and 1. 0 and 1, yeah. So that's going to be random. That's like flipping a coin. And then I can just ask if that's even. So yeah, the Faker file, like I said, or these seeds files, these can be like nice, like brain teaser type stuff. You don't have to use Faker. You have Ruby. You can use Ruby. So you can kind of do that stuff. So yeah, but this one I do like, I want to hard code these values just because I'm kind of testing out like the checkboxes. So I want to know I have one that's false and one that's true just by default. So that's going to serve me well when I like go to test this out. Actually, I think I'm probably going to struggle to get a checkbox working because we can't really use, I don't want to go use JavaScript to do it. So we're going to have to like experiment a little to get this working. So, but that's fine. It'll be a good little demo. This would be, I mean, it'd be a lot easier if I could like show you a couple more things about React, but yeah, let's just hold off on that. So I'm in my console. I do want to see like, you know, I grab my sub dot first. So I'll just store that to this S variable sub dot first. Then I can do S dot topics dot first. See if that's JavaScript. Yep, that's JavaScript. So let's save that as JS. And then I can do JS dot comments. And there's the comments. So I have these, I just wanted to check that I have that association set up. So that's working. Just good to know, like now in my head, I know my database. I have, you know, the first thing in my database is programming that has a topic that is JavaScript, and JavaScript has 2 comments. And if I have that mental note in my head, it's just going to help when I go test things in my code. So let's, and then I know like my associations are set up. Like I have the has many set up correctly. It's just a good little like part to check. So even right now could be a good time to add and commit. And say like comment model setup. Now we want to go ahead and do our controller. Rails G controller. Controller comments. Elise, did that answer your question on, was that your question with the checkbox or the Boolean, or do you also want to see how it works with a checkbox?
When you say checkbox, do you mean that's how you would add one? Is that you would have to check true or false? Or what do you mean by the checkbox?
Yeah, I guess we'll look at that. We'll kind of see the different options we could do. So, all right, let's keep, so now I created my controller. And now I want to go do my routes. Now it might be tempting, or it might make sense to try to do something like this, right? To nest our comments inside of here. But actually, kind of luckily, this is not what we want to do. Because then we're going to get really crazy like routes. That's going to be subs, sub ID, comments ID, et cetera, et cetera. So if we can, we want to avoid this. And what I'm going to do instead, put this the way it was. And I'm going to do another resources here, resources, topics, do end. And inside of here, I'm going to do a resources comments. So now if I want to update a comment, I'm just going to need to give it the ID of the topic and and like if need be, the ID of the comment. So let's look at what this does. And let's look at our routes to see that. So now here's my comments. It's really kind of the exact same as the topics, except they're all going to start with topics, topic ID. So all of my CRUD actions for comments start with topics, topic ID. And then the other ones just match our general Rails convention for CRUD actions. I want to see how. This is where we can kind of get into, like, it's almost like more like a UX question, like how do we want to do, wait, let me refresh. Oh, I think I deleted my database or did something with my database. So I reran my seeds file, which probably deleted this topic, and then I hit refresh. So that's probably no longer there. So let's go to my programming, to my JavaScript. So I want to go to the other link. Show topic. Oh yeah, this is right. This is where we left off with here. So now we have this like topic show page. And maybe here, this is kind of where we want to like do our, let's go ahead and do this one right here, like where we want to grab the comments index, because we go to the topic show page. So we'll want to like show the name of the topic and then all of the comments. So let's have this, like, we kind of got to fix this this JavaScript file. So it's going to show the topic name, and you can also change the path here. Oh my gosh, I keep on hitting that. Okay, so let me just code this out, because this is another case where we could kind of do it either or. So let's first look at this one, the show topic. This one's hitting our subs 64, topic 97. So that one's hitting the subs. It's hitting this one, the subs. Oh my gosh, where is it? The show, how come I can't find it? Show right there. The subs sub ID topics ID, which is the topic show page. We could also have it hit, and we'll create another link for this. I say we have it hit another link that's to the comments index path. So we'll create another link that takes us here. So let's go to our topic show page. or let's actually go to our, this is where this gets so little mind. It's just keeping track of everything. So I want to put another link in my my topics index page. So let's go to my topics index page. So this is the show topic. This goes to my this goes to the topic show method. But I also want to create another link that is really like a show topic, but this one we're going to hit the comments index method. So this one, instead of going to the subs, I'm going to give it the topic. Then the topic ID. And then comments. I'll refresh this one. Go to the show topic comments index method. No route matches topic. I spelled topic wrong. That should be topics, plural. So that's how it's defined here, topics. So if I'm looking for that, how did I say that? I'm looking for the index error. Let's go ahead and save, refresh, come on. Oh, let's go back. Okay, so we go to our topic show. Then I'm going to show topic to the comments index method. And bam, there's the error we're looking for. Can't find the index method in the comments controller. Let's go to the comments controller, def index. And, you know, something just by default, we know for all of these topics methods, these where we're grabbing the comments CRUD actions, we're going to want to grab this topic ID and find the topic. Like all of these methods in our comments controller are going to have the topic ID. So let's make that method of like set topic. And then we define our instance variable at topic equals topic dot find params ID. And then we can also do our, I know I'm going to want like a set comment method just because that's what we do, set comment. This is going to be at comment equals, and then we'll use this instance variable to find it at topic dot comments dot find params ID. And actually, sorry, I named this one needs to be topic ID, right? Because the URL is topic/topic ID. Is that starting to sink in where I'm getting these names? Like the params, like that topic ID is being defined right here. I can do my before action, set topic. I want to do that before every action. And then I can do my before action. To set my comment well, I only want to do that on, what methods do I want to do this on? Like, what methods do I need the comment?
The show, edit, update, delete,
Yep.
or destroy.
Yeah. Those are all those 4 methods where I need to like do some sort of action or give back that comment. So cool. So now for all of these methods, I have my topic and comment, appropriately defined. So here I can render component. What should I call this? Actually, let's do this. So I already have, do I have a topic component? I thought I did. New topic. What's that one that renders the JSON? Oh, I just rendered, okay. I don't have a topic component. That one just renders JSON. Okay, sorry, I'm thinking to myself. I'm going to create one, topic.js. Cool. Import React from React. Let's do our const. Let's make that a little bigger. Const topic. This is going to be my function. I know this is going to take props. This really, I'm just assuming like I'm going to want a topic and a comment and like comments and my array of comments from props. So if you want to use this component, you better give me some topic and comments and put those in props. And then we can return. Let's do my div. Let's do an H1 and let's just say topic.name. All right, the topic has a body. No, it has a name, right? And then we can go through and render topics or render comments. Just make this function render comments, which is just another function which does my map function. So we return my comments, which is just an array of objects. So I can map over that array of objects to create a new array, which I'm going to return right here. But let's go through each comment and return that comments and convert that comment from an object to a some JSX. So a comment has, what does a comment have? It has the name, or wait, no, it had a body, right? Or body. Okay. I'm probably doing it, like, I'm definitely doing way too much work right now. I should get to a point where I just go test this out. So export default topic. I'm getting like, I'm sure you're even like, I'm just getting comments and topics and subs confused. It gets very like messy, right? This is like one of the hardest things about like the MVC. It's like, well, now we have 3 nested models. It's just like keeping that the flow straight in your head. So I'm trying to go fast through this. So when you're coding it, just take your time, really try to like just soak up where you're at. But so we have that. So here, let's kind of like review. We have our topic view. in our comments controller, we need to now render that topics view, and then we need to pass it props. Because I already said, like, I'm expecting that one to get my topic. Well, luckily we took that work to define that one in our before action. And then we want our comments as well. That's going to be topic dot comments. All right. So we did a lot of work. Okay, so undefined method components.
On the comments controller, shouldn't the index component be comments rather than topics?
Oh, actually, I call it topic. It's so I did call it topic. That's what I called it. I could call it comments, but I could also call it topic. It really is like, this is where kind of like there's some mixing and matching going on. Because really what I'm doing is I'm clicking on a topic, and then I'm going to show the topic name and then the comments. So it's kind of like a combination of the two. So
Okay,
Because we don't
so
want a page with just comments that doesn't like show the topic, right? Like everything that you've ever looked at that has comments is gonna be like you're looking at a page, and then comments is like a subsection of that page. So it's not its own page, right? So we wouldn't make it its own like component. It would just be like looking at a specific topic, and the comments are displayed there. And
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is kind of weird. Like, I would maybe, like, technically once we get in, yeah, it's once again, so we're following these conventions, but they're just kind of conventions, especially once we get to like a has many, like, or a many to many. It's like it becomes harder, like what should be kind of the tasks of our functions, where it's not like we can no longer just follow conventions. It's more like we need to follow, like, well, how do we want our app to behave? So what I'm going to show now, like, so I'm in my comments controller, which is this index method. I'm just going to render this component I call topic. Yeah, I think I could call it comments, but I'll show you why I called it topic in 1 second. But let's just see this working, or let's get this working. Okay, so there's my JavaScript. There's the topic name, and there's my 2 comments. So you see how it is kind of like a topics show page, except this is hitting my comments index method because of this route. And that's why, like, on here, I have these 2 like show topic methods. This link is going to go to the comments index method. This one could go to the topic show method. This one's just rendering the JSON of the show, which is, that could be fine. That could be what that needs to do. But I could also go back to that. So that's going to my topic show. So I could go to my topics controller. Where's my show? And I could, instead of rendering JSON, I could now render components. Topic. Because here, as far as my props are concerned, I can pass it the topic, because I have that. And then I can also pass it the comments. So now I can use the, like now these two. If I go to programming, oh wait, no, I need to go to the show. I have an error. Oops. I can go to my show, I can hit my show topic and go to the comments index method. That does that. Or I could go to the show and hit the topics show method. Does the same thing.
So aren't those links redundant?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that how you want us to do it? How do you want us?
I want you to do it how you think makes sense.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So there's like, that's where there's flexibility. So, I mean, if you really wanted to, you could just like come in, do custom routes for everything. And yeah, just do what you want. Like we're gonna like once this is like, so the MVC is like a very, I think part of the reason like this gets confusing is because like the navigation itself gets so confusing because you're like going from one page to the next page to that page. It's like technically like, couldn't I just like go home, like have my programming, and then on this page, just have all my topics. And then all those topics could have all their like comments. And I could just do that all on one page. And actually when we get to like, when we separate, because right now like React and Rails are like, we're doing MVC, React, Rails, they're like connected. Like week 4 or 5, we're gonna separate the two. So Rails is just an API. Rails is just, it's no longer going to be giving us back views. It's just going to be giving us back data. And then we use React to create all the views. And like really, we're going to have what's called a single page application where we're only getting one HTML page. And then JavaScript is just going to ask for data when it needs it. So as far as like, once we do that, I think it would make sense, like in the show method, that would just render the topic as far as the JSON. But the way we're doing this, I don't know. You can just whatever works. Cool. So what time is it? Let's do the new for this and also experiment with that checkbox. So, and let's do one other thing just so we can see. So let's go back to our comment to our topic. And how do I want to do this? Let's just do, I'm going to show you how to do like a weird inline style. So my comment, right, has a flagged. So let's do this. Let's do like a color style. Did we talk about ternaries in Rails? Okay. Let's just do a quick, the ternaries are in, these are in Rails. This is in Ruby and Rails. Sorry, in Ruby and JavaScript, but they're used all the time. So let's say I have like a if statement. Like I have some function like is odd. I want to define is odd in JavaScript. That takes a number. And sorry, let me not write it like that. Here's my is odd function. Let's just do is flagged. So that's what we want to do. This takes a Boolean. So I can do something like this because I want this function to return the color of text. So I can say if flagged, return red. And I'm going to do this as an else, just so we can do it. And else return black. And now I can throw this function inside of here. And so now in my style, I can set the color to, is flagged. And pass it the comment dot flagged. So if flagged is true, this should return red. If flagged is false, this function should return black. Just so a way we can visualize if it's flagged or not. So let's go to topic show. I stop my server or something. Oh yeah, now let's go to JavaScript. So that one's black and this one's red. Which this works, this is good. There's a, if we get into a situation, or there's a common thing that like, if I have a function that's really just like, I want to see if something's true or false and then return a value based on that, just like this. I can use an if else statement, that works. There's a shorthand though for this, or there's something called a ternary, which I don't know a language that doesn't have a ternary expression. So instead of this, I'm going to comment this out. I can say return. So I can do flagged question mark. So this is like asking, hey, is this true or false? If it's true, go ahead and return this thing, which would be red. If not, return black. So it's a quicker way to write like an if else statement. And actually, like once you get to like, once you become familiar with it, it's actually a lot more readable. In my mind, this is way more easier to read than that. And just to show you, let's refresh. Same thing. So there's our ternary. And then also I could even just like, not even define this function, because sometimes it can be short enough where I can just do like this. I can just write the ternary here. So I said, hey, the color. So here's my color. Well, is the comment flagged? If it's flagged, have it be red. If it's not, have it be black. So I can write that in, one line. I don't have to go define a function. I think that's readable and it works. So there's a ternary expression. We're going to use these a ton. So once we get, and like, we're going to use these a ton with React because of stuff like this. It's just, it's going to make our code a lot cleaner. Cool. All right, so now we have that. We know if something's flagged or not. So let's go ahead and also let's do an a tag href. Let's do our new method. So I'm going to have to interpolate this topics slash topic ID slash, oh, my brain's going, my brain's turning to mush right now. Topics, topic ID, oh, sorry, topic.id. We have a topic ID, right? Topic.id. And then what? Comments. New. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, we want to create we want the form for a new comment. So this is the path I need. Topics, the ID of the topic, comments, new. Topics, the ID of the comment, comments, new. And then let's just test this out. No harm in testing this. Refresh. New. Action new cannot be found in the comments controller. That's exactly what we want to see. So let's go ahead and define our new method. And so render components. Let's call this new comment. Props. We do need to pass the topic at topic. All right. Now then we can go to our components and create a new comment.js. Which one of these? I'm just going to copy one of these new ones. Sure, let's copy the new topic. Okay. So we're not, so I'm going to rename this to new comment. So say this is a new comment. Our action is still going to be a post, but this is going to go to /topics / and then the ID of the topic.id. This is not defined, but I can grab that from props because I did pass that down. So there's the topic ID, then comments. And that should be that. Now this, topics. I already forgot. I forgot what we have on our comments, so I need to go to my schema. We have a body and flagged. Okay, so this is going to be body. This is going to be comment body. And then, yeah, we need like this flagged thing. Okay. And let's do another one. I'm going to throw another input in here. So I'm going to do a checkbox. And I think I'm going to give this a different name, flag like CX or something, just so these are coming as different attributes. I'm at a spot now where like I want to kind of mess around with this, kind of experiment. Because how do I create a Boolean with like a checkbox? Or how could I maybe create a Boolean? So let's look at a couple different ways. Let's refresh this. Oh, where's my checkbox? What did I do wrong? Is there not a checkbox? Okay, no, it's not. I need to do input type equals checkbox. I really am not sure how to do this without JavaScript, so we're gonna have to experiment. I know we're in a JavaScript file, but I don't know how to do this without kind of spending like an hour talking about some other React stuff. So let's just get it working like this. Good old fashioned HTML. Okay. So here's my body. I could say yo, yo, yo. And then I could put flagged. True here. And then I could click that. Just a couple different ways. Something else I'm going to do is this should hit my create method, right? Or actually, I don't care if it, I actually want this to fail because I want to put in a binding.pry. But since I don't have my create method, hopefully this just puts me here so I can type params because I want to see what my params look like. So I have params and I can look at this comment. So I have flagged, which is true here. So that would just be text. Just says true here. That is a string. And then I have, flagged CX, and that's on. And I also have my topic ID. So let's see if I actually have, I probably don't have my topic defined. Let's just grab a topic. Just say topic equals topic.last. Because what I want to do, I just want to try to like create topic.create. Let's give it the body. Let's not even care about sanitizing our parameters. Let's just go body is going to be params, comment, and then body. Oops, sorry, topic dot comments dot create. I'm just trying to create a comment. So that looks like that works. So then I can do like topic dot comments. So flagged is nil. So we can kind of use our ternary. Is nil true? Is true. Let's see if nil is true or if nil is false. Do you get what I'm doing here? Nil is, so I can take things, they don't necessarily have to be true or false. They can have like these truthy or falsy values. Let's run this one again. Like, let's see, like 1. Is 1 true? 1 is true. This is one, it's like a truthy value. It's because it actually has a value. Let's see if 0 is true. But yeah, like obviously false is false and true is true. But I could say like, I could do something like this. I could say, so let's say we're getting this, we want to just use the checkbox because that makes the most sense for the user. Like a flagged checkbox. So notice when I did my params, the flagged CX is on. So let's go back and just kind of update this. So I'm just going to call this flagged and I'm going to get rid of this one. So we're just going to use our checkbox. Let's go ahead and kind of go back, create this error again. It's weird UI, but I'm going to leave flagged unchecked this time. So params. So params comment. So now I don't even have that thing being passed. So I could do something like this, like is flagged. Maybe if you do want it to be actually true or false, I could say something like this, is flagged equals, oh my gosh, is flagged, oh, let's do this as Ruby too, is underscore flagged. That could equal params, comment. And then I can see this comment had that flagged attribute. If it does, let's say is flagged is true. If not, it's false. So now is flagged is false. I'm going to copy this line of code and then check the checkbox. That's true. So now I have this way to like create this Boolean. And so then I can go to my comments controller. I can do def create, do end. And do something like that. Is flagged, is params, comment, flag, true or false. And then I can just do my at, I can grab my topic, at topic, dot comment, dot create, body, is params, comment, body, and flagged is going to be the value of this is flagged. And I can like redirect to, where do we want to go? Let's go to back to our topics or topic path. Let's go to our topic path. And give it the ID of the topic. Now, I'm not sanitizing my parameters. I'm not doing an if, I'm not creating a new one in memory. I'm not saving it, but I'm teaching you all these conventions because they're nice, but sometimes you can just do stuff just to get it to work. So yo, let's see if we can add that topic.comments. Well, since I'm here, this is like I spelled comments wrong, but since I'm here, let's just see if this worked, because what I did is I spelled comments wrong. Cool. That worked. Flagged is true, and I had that. If I'm here, I might as well test it out. So now I know that's going to work. I saved that. Go back. So I just did comments. Yeah, this is a swear word comment. So I can't find sub without an ID. So let's look at params. Oh, so I'm going to, so this is in my redirect because I'm now in my topics controller. I'm calling this set sub. And see, I'm going to my topics to my show method. So I need to give that a sub ID. I thought I did. Or which ones did I do? topic path. Redirect to topic path at topic ID. Action show ID. Oh. This redirect is, let's see here. Let's try a different one. Because there's my topics controller. My show, my ID is, I'm passing this ID. I want to pass, so it's looking for a sub ID. So I actually have to use a route because this topic path uses ID. I actually need to use one that uses that sub ID if I want to hit that show. Yeah, okay. So let's go to, where was that defined? See, this is where this gets, I myself get lost. Sub topic path. Let's use this one. And this one we need to pass it the sub ID and the ID of the topic. Sub. Oh my gosh, where's our, we have a sub here, right? How, so I have a topic. Remember, a topic belongs to a sub. This is getting gnarly. This is where this gets really gnarly, but so a topic belongs to a sub, right? So I can do at topic dot sub dot ID to grab that ID of the sub. Even though I don't have a sub defined here anywhere. But I can still find that ID of the sub that I need to pass to that method through my topic. I can go at topic, give me the sub, give me that ID. And then that should be, sorry, this should be, I don't need, this isn't a hash. I don't know what I'm doing. Well, let's see if that works. Let's go back. I need to try it from here. Okay, so those were all saving, but I just wasn't redirecting right. Nice and friendly. This is not going to be flagged, so that's not updated. Let me do one quick update function that's just, once again, a little unconventional. But maybe it would make sense to be able just to like click on one of these or have a button like flagged. I don't know, actually, how are we going to do that without Ajax? Never mind, let's not do that. That it'd be really like, once we get to week 4, that it'd be like a really easy task. But I'm gonna leave that like this for now. But does that help with the checkbox? And kind of help give you ideas, like you don't have to 100% follow these conventions we're giving you. The priority is to get things working. The conventions are nice because they help keep our code clean. Like we're going to have an issue here. Like if this doesn't successfully create, I have no way to really handle that error. So my app's just going to crash. So yeah, this is like not the best way to handle this, but it works for now. Any questions? Let me add this all and push this up to GitHub. Anything? Yeah, I started recording like that has many video at like 8. I started working on it, and like, so I've just been like talking to myself about the has many relationship for like, what is that, 5 hours? So yeah, my brain is toast. I'm sure your brain is toast as well. It's the connect, it's all like the moving pieces and like how they connect. So this is where it's really important to step away from your computer, go for a run, clear out your mind, because when you come back, it's going to be a little easier to follow this stuff. So take lots of breaks while you're working on this. And I'll push this. So yeah, you'll just continue to work on your homework, and you can try, there's a bonus objective to do the comments model. So like a department has many items, an item has many comments. So that's something else you can do. And like we said, we say do all the CRUD actions on all the things, but I would say focus on doing like the CRUD actions on like, really focus on getting like the CRUD actions on your items done on that nested model, to really kind of stretch your brain. Or if that's too much, then yeah, just focus on doing your departments and doing some experimentation with the items. And if you feel like you really have this, then yeah, go ahead and do all the items as well, or the comments.
And this is due Monday, correct?
Yeah, this will be due Monday.